Today, we are going to dive deep into a unique existence. Among Japan's many yokai, it is a being that sends shivers down your spine just by imagining it. We are talking about the Noppera-bo. It has no eyes. It has no nose. It has no mouth. There is only smooth skin in the shape of a human face. Why does such a simple appearance terrify us so much? Today, we will not just tell a ghost story. We will explore the psychological impact of the Noppera-bo. We will look at the depths of how our brains recognize faces. We will thoroughly explain the root of this fear, from the perspectives of psychology and brain science. Please stay with us until the end. Also, if you find this topic fascinating, please hit the like button and leave a comment below. Your support helps us bring more hidden history to light. The legend of the Noppera-bo has been passed down across Japan since ancient times. The most famous version is found in Lafcadio Hearn's Kwaidan. This story vividly depicts the terror of the Noppera-bo. It made the creature known to the world. The story begins in the Edo period. It takes place at a location called Kioizaka in Kojimachi. Late at night, a merchant was passing by. He noticed a young woman walking ahead. She was crouching by the roadside. She seemed to be weeping in deep sorrow. Concerned, the merchant kindly asked if something was wrong. The woman slowly raised her face. In that moment, the merchant gasped. What he saw was a smooth, white surface. There were no eyes. There was no nose. There was no mouth. Imagine standing in that dark silence. What would you do? The shock was beyond measure. The merchant was so terrified he lost his voice. He could not even scream. His entire body simply froze. Finally, he managed to flee. He stumbled into a nearby soba shop. Breathless, he told the owner about the horrific event. He shouted that he met a woman with no face at Kioizaka. The soba shop owner was surprised. He tried to calm the merchant down. He told him it must have been a mistake or exhaustion. The owner held out a bowl of soba. The merchant reached out with a trembling hand. Then his eyes met the owner's face. The owner was smiling kindly. But that face, too, had no eyes. It had no nose. It had no mouth. In the next instant, the merchant lost consciousness. This is the classic tale of the Noppera-bo. The horror of this story is not just the visual impact. It is the chain of terror. There is a sense of despair because there is no escape. In another version, a man runs home to his wife. He tells her about the monster, but his wife also turns out to have no face. What we see here is extreme shock and confusion. Why do humans fear a face without features so much? Let us unravel this mystery through psychology. Our brains process a vast amount of visual information. Among all that data, faces are extremely special. Humans are social animals. Communication is vital for our survival. The face is the most important source of information. It tells us about emotions and intentions. It tells us gender, age, and identity. Even newborns react to face-like patterns. This ability is deeply rooted in our survival instinct. But what happens when that system fails? There are specific parts of our brain dedicated to face recognition. The Fusiform Face Area, or FFA, is located in the temporal lobe. It plays a crucial role. When this area is active, we instantly judge that something is a human face. We process who it is or what expression they have. However, the Noppera-bo's face presents a violent contradiction. The basic structure of a human face is there, but the vital information of eyes and mouth is missing. This creates a massive gap. There is a conflict between what the brain expects and what it sees. This gap evokes an uncanniness that goes beyond discomfort. The brain does not know how to process this information. It falls into a state of confusion. This betrayal of expectation is the essence of the Noppera-bo terror. Have you ever felt a strange chill when looking at something that is almost human, but not quite? This leads us to the Uncanny Valley. This is a psychological concept. As non-human objects become more human-like, they gain our affinity. But when they are almost human but slightly off, we feel strong revulsion. Think of lifelike robots or certain CG characters. They feel creepy because they are too realistic yet not perfect. The Noppera-bo is an extreme example of the Uncanny Valley. It has the shape of a human face. It acts like a human, but it lacks the most important elements. The brain hesitates. It cannot decide if the creature is human or non-human. This results in intense discomfort. The face is a window for communication, but a Noppera-bo has no expression. Its intentions cannot be read. An unpredictable entity is a fundamental threat. We instinctively fear the unknown. The Noppera-bo turns the most familiar thing into something unknown. It plunges us into primal fear. Think about it. Have you ever seen a face in the shadows that turned out to be nothing? Tell us about your experiences in the comments. In Hearn's story, the merchant meets a second Noppera-bo. This suggests a hallucination triggered by extreme stress. Fear can distort our cognitive functions. One might see things that do not exist. The merchant was already in a state of ultimate terror. His brain was already distorted. When he saw the soba shop owner, his brain may have reinterpreted the face as another monster. This also relates to mass panic. One person experiences fear and tells others. The listeners fall under a psychological suggestion. They begin to experience the same thing. In eras where information was scarce, supernatural beliefs were common. Collective misperceptions were more likely to occur. This relates to the modern spread of rumors and fake news. Groundless fear spreads through a chain reaction. Now let us look even closer using neuroscience. The FFA is like a control tower for faces, but when features are missing, the processing stalls. It causes a serious error. This error is transmitted to the amygdala. The amygdala is the center of emotions. It handles fear, anxiety, and anger. When it senses danger, it sends signals for fight or flight. The amygdala reacts strongly to the Noppera-bo. This triggers physical responses. Your heart rate increases. Your breathing becomes rapid. Your muscles tense up. The merchant fainting was likely an excessive amygdala reaction. Also, the prefrontal cortex is involved in rational decisions. When the amygdala is overactive, the prefrontal cortex is suppressed. In extreme fear, we lose calm judgment. We fall into a panic. Our brains are always predicting what will happen next. We look at the world with the premise that faces have eyes and mouths. The Noppera-bo overturns that premise fundamentally. When our predictions are betrayed, we feel deep confusion. This is similar to the surreal images in dreams. In dreams, logic collapses. The Noppera-bo is like the eeriness of a dream manifesting in reality. We can also compare this to Prosopagnosia, or face blindness. This is a condition where the ability to recognize faces is lost. A person might not distinguish their own family. The Noppera-bo shows a bug in this system. It is an embodiment of a state where the system cannot function. Both show how complex our brain processes are. They show the anxiety that arises when these processes break. Extreme fatigue and sleep deprivation can also play a role. They change our cognitive functions. They make hallucinations more likely. Many Noppera-bo sightings likely involved the individual's mental state. Seeing something that is not there due to fear is entirely possible. It is a biological response to stress. What does the Noppera-bo mean to us today? In our modern world, we are exposed to countless faces. On social media, many are processed or AI-generated. AI-generated faces can be very realistic yet feel eerie. This is a modern Noppera-bo phenomenon. Our brains detect subtle discrepancies. This manifests as the Uncanny Valley. The feeling that something is real but different tells us our brain is alert. The spread of fake news is another version of this panic. Rumors fuel anxiety. They are suddenly believed as truth. When society is filled with uncertain information, our cognition is distorted. We start seeing monsters where there are none. The Noppera-bo asks us about our inner fears. It asks how we recognize the world. It is the fear of the familiar becoming unfamiliar. We know that what we see is not everything. But what if the unseen is created by our own brains? The story of the Noppera-bo makes us think about our limits. It shows the danger of group psychology. Is what we are seeing truly reality? Our brains can deceive us. They can show us things that do not exist. They can make us see things differently. On this channel, we will continue to dive deep. We will look at ghost stories through science and psychology. By approaching the essence of fear, we understand the world better. We discover new things about our own minds. What would you do if you met a Noppera-bo on a dark road? Is it a hallucination of your brain? Or is it an entity truly standing there? Please let us know your thoughts in the comments. If you found this video interesting, please subscribe and give us a like. It helps our channel grow. See you in the next video.